Caitlin, can you see or hear me? Caitlin? I'll take that as a no.
She cannot see either.
She's not
What is
responding.
it doing, dog? Patch, stop.
Okay, so we're gonna have to get started, unfortunately. So Caitlin, we miss you. We hope that you can figure out your technical difficulties when things clear up. I wanted to start out by asking all of you, is there something in particular that you want me to go through or to teach on or to answer questions or anything like that? I want to get all that out of the way, and then if there's a lesson you want me to do, I'm happy to do that as well.
Hey,
Just jump in, whomever. Jacqueline, where did we end up last time? We were doing radicals, if I remember right.
I think you did a lesson.
Right, but it was on radicals. How far did I get?
Completing the square.
Oh, we're on quadratics, and so did I introduce the quadratic formula to you?
Yes, the a plus b squared.
Yes. So for everybody else's benefit, I'm going to kind of go back to that the quadratic formula. And the visual that everyone should have right now should be me writing on a pad of paper, and then I should be up in your corner there. A lot of you may remember this from high school. Can I use this? So, give me a second to pull up my account here. My open math. This is you. Hey, Caitlin, can you hear me yet? No. Okay, so quadratic equations. Let's do the quadratic formula. So let's practice by starting with this one. Now the A, B, and C are the coefficients. I do have a cough, I apologize. I'm not sick, I think it's allergies. Hello Ashley, hello Jose, welcome. Ashley, can you hear me? Okay, so Caitlin at least got my message. Ashley, can you hear me? Ashley, can you hear me? Okay, great, thank you. And Jose, how you doing? Can you hear me all right? Technical difficulties today. Hey Caitlin, I can see you. Jose, can you hear me, man? Jose can hear me. Fantastic. Okay. Great. Hopefully Caitlin will be able to figure it out and we'll get it to work. Caitlin, can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you. I'm using my phone now.
Hey, welcome. So you haven't missed too much. This is all I've written down. To make it clear, the A, B, and C are the numbers in front. And it's real important that you keep an eye on the signs. Now, be extra careful with the negatives and the positives and so on. So this is the end of the lecture that I went through on Monday with a handful of you. Eric was there and Jacqueline was there. I can't remember who else off the top of my head was there. Oh, Duha was there. So I want you to see that I'm doing the negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c divided by 2 times a is what I have here. And now it's just a matter of using a calculator.
Is that where the 4 came from?
The 4 is part of the formula.
Okay.
Yeah, so that 4 will always be there as part of that. If this was a regular class, I actually would have shown you where this formula comes from. It's a whole process, but unfortunately I don't get to do that. If you're interested, I'd be happy to show you sometime. It's not all that interesting. Please note I have 3 negatives. Negative, negative, negative. That's going to be minus 4 times 2 times 24. Oh, I should have made that negative 4. That's okay. Now, something kind of interesting with this is the problem asks us to use the quadratic formula. However, in this case, do you see the root 25? It all goes away. Now this becomes it also becomes negative 15 minus 5 over negative 4. That's negative there. And that's how you use the quadratic formula. We'll do a couple more. Shoot. So this is literally number 2 from your homework, called the quadratic formula homework.
What's down on the bottom?
What's down at the bottom?
Yeah. Oh.
They don't see it. So when the radical goes away, you actually get a couple of regular numbers. Much of the time, it doesn't work out that way. You end up with radicals in them. And this next one, I believe most likely will do that. Actually, it won't. Okay. Any questions there with the quadratic formula? Caitlin, we love your dog.
Oh, thank you.
What's his name? Where's the thumbs up?
It's a reaction at the bottom. You don't see.
That's okay. By the way, we know that it's a quadratic because we have an r squared, or x squared, or n squared, or whatever it is that we're doing. We need to get the whole thing equal to 0 first. Oh, this one is factorial. No, it's not. All right. So in this case, A is 2. B is -1, right? -1 is in front of that R. And C is 10. I'm going to give you a few minutes. Try to use the quadratic formula to solve this one. And I'll be right back. You have to be extra careful with these signs. Can you line this?
You stole my seat.
Now this one's interesting. Because in the previous module, by the way, this is the worst timed isolation thing ever because the hardest stuff you had to learn on your own. So if you survive those crazy fractions, you'll survive. And thank you everybody for coming. I'm very happy that you guys came. Do you guys want me to hold this twice a week? I was originally just going to do it on Mondays. Do you guys want it Monday and Wednesday? Would you guys come?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I'll make that a regular thing then. All right, so here we have a negative and the radical, and until now we weren't able to do that. Last module you learned I here, where I is the square root of -1. So what you end up with is this. And now, if this was you writing it out for me, this would be fine for me, but I want to kind of talk about how Mom is having you do it. So when you're in Mom, when you click on the answer rectangle, a little tiny yellow, let me show you. That's hard to see. Let's see. So if I go here, do you see the yellow arrow? When you click on that, it brings up all the symbols that you need to put stuff in. So some of you might have already discovered that, but if you haven't, that's always going to be there when you do that. I'd like to see you guys a little more, excuse me, active on the discussion board. Whenever you have a question or something, please post it there. Even if you just want to chat a little bit, you can post stuff there. My wife and I check that several times a day. The way that Mom is going to have you write it is going to be like this. Where it's separated with commas. You saw that's how they... Right here, separated by commas. Any questions on that one? Please talk to me. Those of you showing me your face, I'm so grateful. Thank you. I miss my students so much. It's just nice to see your faces. I don't care if you have crazy hair or whatever. It's not as wild as mine, I'll tell you that.
So that's how they want us to write it on the...
I believe so, and yeah, because it says specifically separated by commas. And that's how you would have to do that. Meaning they're not going to let you use the plus and minus symbol like I do. Some of the questions I saw, they're even more prescriptive, where they want you to put this here and then root 79 over 4, and then they put the I in, so just kind of go with the flow. I think I told you Mom was thrown together by a few thousand math teachers, and everybody's personality is different, and we all have our own little quirks, so sometimes it really tells you how to do it, and other times not so much. Just do the best we can with it. How are we doing with the quadratic formula? Do we want to continue down that road, or do you want to try another one, or do you want to move on to another topic? I'll be guided by you guys. Getting absolutely no reaction, I will move on. All right, we're going to move on to quadratic functions. Let me pull up that homework. Oh, there's no homework with the quadratic functions. And quiz. Due Monday the 27th. I need to change the due date on quiz 7. So because your exam isn't this weekend, it's the weekend after that, I'm going to move the practice test or the quiz. But I'm going to go through that with you guys now so that when you go through it, you'll know what to do. And again, if excuse me, if one of you have a specific topic or example that you want me to cover, just say the word, okay? All right, here we go. So quiz 7. I'm going to show you the problem on my computer, let you copy it down, and then I'll work it out with you guys. So here's number 1. So just here. Yeah, I covered this on Monday, actually. Oh, that's because I put it in conics. That's why we did no quadratic functions. So you just need the equation there. So this is number 1. And again, your number 1 will be different than mine as far as the numbers go, but the types of problems should be the same. So 1 is... There's a rule that I taught last time. What's 2? 14. So when you take the square root of both sides, what ends up happening is we get 2 answers. We get the positive root of a and we get the negative root of a, and that's going to apply here. So when I take the square root of both sides to get rid of that squared, I get 6p plus 2 equals plus or minus the square root of 16. This one's very nice because 16 is a perfect square, so all the radicals are going to go away in this case. That doesn't always happen. Again, I apologize about the cough. Again, no fever or sore throat or anything like that. It's just this cough I get every few years. Now you might be wondering where the 1/3 came from. If I do negative 2 plus 4, that's 2 over 6, which reduces to a 1/3. If I do negative 2 minus 4, that's negative 6 divided by 6. That's where the negative 1 comes from. So first I add, then I subtract. Giving me two different answers.
Oh, you mean like 6 divided by 2 is 3?
Sort of. So when I do negative 2 plus 4, I get a 2 up top. So here, negative 2 plus 4 over 6, that's 2 over 6, which is 1/3. That's where that comes from. The other one is negative 2 minus 4 over 6. That's where that one comes from. Any questions there I can help with? It's pretty straightforward, nothing too fancy. I'd like to move on to problem 2 unless there's a question. All right, number 2.
And it's 16, of course it's divided by 4, yeah.
So here's number 2. Mm-hmm. How weird is it that I'm showing you a picture on a computer, then I'm putting it into a digital camera that's sending it through the internet to your computer, that you're writing it down on paper now? That's insane. And I'm going to perform some sorcery here, see if you can see what I did. You don't have to do that, but anything to make those numbers smaller is better.
Did you divide the whole thing by 2?
That's exactly what I did, Caitlin. Good call. And once again, that's optional. You don't have to do that. Now I'm going to do the quadratic formula. In this case, A is 2, B is 9, and C is 2. Just a quick recall. Can I ask you guys, well, keep thinking. I have questions for you.
No.
You guys can finally use calculators. And as far as I'm concerned, that's it. However, Mom is doing all sorts of funky stuff. Normally I would just give you a regular test and tell you to write it this way, but Mom is losing its mind here. So we're going to have two solutions where one is smaller than the other one. The smaller one's always going to be the minus one. Right, there's a plus and a minus. The smaller will be the minus one. So the way Alex would want this written, again, for every other math teacher, this is totally fine with the plus or minus, but Mom can't handle that. Yours starts at 2:30?
So you're saying it would have to be both A and B? Both answers?
Both answers are correct. The way that they do it is they say that they want you to write where A is smaller than B. The minus one will always be the smaller.
Oh, so everything minus is smallest and everything addition is bigger?
No, not necessarily. So what I'm saying is between the plus and the minus one is going to be the smaller between the two because you're subtracting something.
Oh,
The positive one will be the bigger one.
oh, of course.
Let's try another quadratic equation. This one is number 3. Yeah, I'll just write it out for you. I think it'll be easier. Yep, this is 3. Let's talk a bit. I'm going to let you guys do this one with the quadratic formula. To be clear, A is 2, B is 5, and C is negative 3. Get some water. Going for a run after this. I've been doing a lot of running.
So Ryan,
Yes, sir.
is it possible for you to move the sign of where it says record on your end? 'Cause
Can
I
you
can't
see that?
read the paper.